Last year, no one even expected Michael Penix to be drafted as high as he was. Anything can happen come draft night. And it takes one team to ruin the entire mindset of every organization following whatever pick that team has. Is there a world where Shedeur Sanders' name is called after a quarterback like Jaxson Dart? What are the odds Jaxson Dart's name is called before Shedeur Sanders on draft night?
Really, it just depends on what team and if that team has him high on their draft board. Really, if I'm not mistaken, Mitch Trubisky went number 2 in the draft, and Patrick Mahomes went number 10 in the draft. The same draft, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me that it's really based on the team that likes you.
Oh,
Anything can
I get it. It's a fit thing. Sometimes schemes don't matter, but most of the time they do. Just to give a little bit of insight, earlier I said Shedeur led the country and completion percentage was 74%. He has the highest completion percentage of a Division I FBS quarterback in history. But Jaxson Dart, on the other hand, he led the country in passing yards per attempt, 10.8 yards. Every time it left the man's hand, it was a first down. In his passer rating, he led the country, 180.7. So he's got a couple things under his belt. He got a good passer rating, which it's graded differently in college. 150.3 or something is like the perfect rating in the NFL. But it's different in college. So let's talk about the specific scenarios, Shedeur falling and Jaxson Dart rising. What would have to happen? And I think it starts with this team right here.
Really, that's really what it is. It's the teams. It's the team, the order of the draft, and those teams' respective needs, and where they have on like their prospects, like on their draft board. How does this prospect fit the scheme of what you're trying to do? I feel that Pittsburgh is the best place for Shedeur. It'll be a great place for him. Jaxson Dart, I think New Orleans is really the place for Jaxson. Um, but again, we don't know where they're picking in retrospect to the draft. Like what New Orleans has what pick?
9. And I think there's a very good chance Shedeur falls to 9, especially if the Giants pass on him or if a team doesn't trade up to take him. If somebody can somehow make a deal with the Panthers at 8, if they think they can get their guy, whoever they trade back with.
I think the Panthers are going to get that tackle from LSU, or if he doesn't go at 6.
They could take him. I haven't taken an edge, but regardless, it starts right here, Nate. If the New Orleans Saints decide they want a quarterback, who's going to be their guy? Jaxson Dart or Shedeur Sanders? You look at what happened this past year. Derek Carr injured his oblique. He injured his shoulder. And his injury was worse than what we thought of originally. So there's a good chance Derek Carr doesn't play a single snap in 2025. That's how serious this injury is.
Yeah, I just read that on ESPN.
It's uncertain. It's the same situation with Deshaun Watson. Whether or not the Saints want to draft somebody like Shedeur or Jaxson Dart in the first round, they like somebody in the later rounds. I've told you a million times, this is not the draft. You draft a quarterback. But in the event that the man with the highest ceiling falls to you, you might have to take him and see what you can do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it, but if I'm trusting Kellen Moore, I'm trusting Kellen Moore. He's a young coach. He knows how to find the strengths of a quarterback. He just did that by winning a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts, who, might I add, besides his rookie season, had the worst year passing of his career because his strength isn't passing, it's his legs. I think it's the same situation with Shedeur.
Shedeur's
Kellen
not,
Moore, no, but he uses legs a lot in college,
you
which
know,
is why people make that narrative of
but
him getting sacked a bunch of times.
well,
Talked
he
about that
uses.
the other
I
week
feel
too.
like he uses legs, but not in the way that the same way that Jalen uses legs. Um, and he got sacked holding on to the ball. Now, if he goes, I see him going to a team where they're going to coach him up to where, hey, you got to get that ball out. You got to know where you're going pre-snap. Where hey, if there's a too high safety shell, and then on snap they go to a single high, you got to know where your first read is, and you got to get that ball out. I think he's going to learn that there, and because if you're going to be a franchise quarterback, they don't one thing a franchise doesn't want. They do not want their quarterback to take unnecessary hits, and that's what Shador is going to have to learn.
Oh, he'll take all of them because that dude will hold the football till Jesus comes back. I mean, it'll stay in his hand for ages. That's why I hate that narrative. Oh, he didn't have the O line, dude. An NFL O line couldn't hold a college football D line for more than 12 seconds. I don't care. He's got to get the ball out. But who better to do that than a guy who's played college football, not super successful in the NFL, but really successful at mentoring and sculpting the quarterbacks that play under him? New Orleans Saints' new head coach, Kellen Moore. What can he do for Shedeur Sanders?
He can use his strengths and really just you know put him in a place where he's going to be successful. I mean, getting him to get offensively, putting him in a situation where he's going to get the ball out, quick passes. Um, if I'm not mistaken, Shador was primarily from the gun. If I'm not mistaken,
It, I could say that that's factual and accurate.
yeah,
Looking back at his games,
it's
most
going
of the time he was from the shotgun.
it's going to be one of those situations where hey, you're going to have to get the ball out because these defensive linemen, they're strong, they're fast, they're athletic. So hold that ball if you want to. You're gonna learn today.
They're going to be more athletic, bigger, and stronger than the Big 12 D linemen you had to play in college.
Exactly.
I can assure you that. Wait till you play against the Eagles, who don't have a guy under 290 on the line. Then you're really going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
But I think there is a world where Jaxson Dart could be called before Shedeur
I,
if the New Orleans Saints pass on Shedeur. But the more I think about it, the more I realize there is no way the New Orleans Saints are going to have Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener at QB1 and QB2. If I see Jake Haener on the football field in the regular season again, I might just throw up, pass out, or all the above.
why do you have to say it like that? Like, why do you have to say it like that?
I want to illustrate how dumb the New Orleans Saints are sometimes in the decisions they make.
But you still support him. You still love him.
But I still support them. I mean, look, I got my Sir Saint shirt on right now too, and the hat, and I was wearing my hoodie this morning because I had to get up before 8 o'clock to go to work. So it was early and it was chilly. So I wore my Saints hoodie. I represent. I love my Saints.
Even when they do dumb stuff.
It's unconditional love, Nate. Even when they do dumb stuff. The only thing that makes it better is maybe they'll realize they're doing dumb stuff and fix it. Maybe it takes them sitting in a jail cell for a night or a couple days to
Connor,
realize the dumb decision they made when they were 18 years old.
Connor.
I wasn't speaking on personal experience. For y'all that sat in jail cell at 18 years old, I apologize. But maybe that was the only thing that had you realize the decision you made prior to that night was dumb, was not the right decision. And Mickey Loomis has to take a real long, deep look at himself and say, hey, am I the one that can lead the New Orleans Saints back to the promised land? And I can answer that question. It's no. But if Mickey Loomis makes the right decision at number 9, I will have a little bit more faith in Mickey Loomis. Because the smartest thing, Nate, trade back.
Trade back, and who do you get best available?
You draft edge in the first round, or you can go best available. I don't care. The amount of holes you have on your team, you could draft anybody in this draft class, and they would be of some value to your team. Anybody. You're in the position to draft best available, but not in the position that you want to be in to draft best available.
Okay, you got a point. Oh, I hate that I'm agreeing with you right now.